See where it got hit by lightning over there?
Yeah,
You can see it.
that.
Yeah. So these trees are they're very dangerous to cut because they can. You see how they're the splits in it. I'm gonna drop this wood first. Y'all look at that stump right there. No cleanup on this one. Oh, you got the roots right, Gabe. All right. Trees like this one right here that y'all just watched, they're very, very difficult to fool with. You can see how large it is and then how high it is. Cutting above your head is a huge no-no in the chainsaw world. However, there are times that you got to do it, and you try to do it. Don't ever cut where you're like, if the saw kicks back, it's going to end up right there on you. Try to stay to the side of it in the event that you had to do it. Now, I didn't show cutting the other two stems down, and obviously I didn't, because I did some very sketchy stuff on that, and I really don't want people to see that and then duplicate what I do, even though sometimes you have to do it that way. And so I'll tell you what I did. After I cut the first one down, then I had Gabe pull up there on the mini excavator, and I hopped up on the mini and then hopped up on the first platform of that stump. I cut the second one from standing up there. When it started falling, I jumped off down the blade and onto the ground, for my escape. The problem was these trees, the limbs were intertwined pretty bad on them in some spots. So what I did before I cut the second one, I took and threw a rope up over one of the limbs. Well, I reached up, grabbed one, broke it out, and then I threw a rope over another one and just pulled it out of the tree. Lightning struck trees react very differently. The holding fiber in them does a lot of times because the lightning just basically barbecues the whole tree. So keep that in mind if you're ever fooling with a lightning struck tree. They can be very different than a normal tree does when you cut them. And like for tree climbers, it's known in the tree climbing world that lightning struck trees can kill you when you're up in them because things can break in them very easily. And this tree, when I was pulling those limbs, reacted very, very weird. So got the limbs down, second spar on the ground. The third spar, what I had to do on it is I got up on the second level, notched it, and it was big, man. I swapped saws. The first saw was a 400. I was running a 25-inch bar, man. It was not cutting. I can't remember what I'd done with the week or the day before that or whatever, but it wasn't cutting to what I wanted to cut. And so I grabbed the 28-inch 400. I filed it real quick, jumped up there, had to get Gabe to lift me up, got up there on it, notched it. I couldn't reach the other side of the tree to cut, and I knew that if I kept cutting the tree, I didn't need it to fall to the right because there was a sawtooth oak over there, didn't need to be hit. So I got on the grapple of the Rotobeck, and I had Gabe kind of swing me around over there and where I could cut that side coming up to the notch. So I cut it, then come back around to the other side, kind of went up to where I probably had about a 30% hinge in that thing. Well, once I got to there, then I took and I threw another throw line up into that tree and put my 5/8 rope in it and choked it with a running bowline, and then set up on the hill with the machine, put the rope to it, and just broke it on off is what I did. And so a lot of times, like these trees where they've got those long lateral limbs on it, keep this in mind. When you're down low cutting or you're up high, it's even worse when you're up high. What happens is when that tree comes over and that tree hits the ground and it pushes that limb, that limb is going to act like a big leaf spring, and it's going to bow that limb to a certain point. And then once it gets to a certain point, then all those limbs are bowed then, and it's going to force that tree backwards. So a lot of times that tree will come backwards, say 5, 6, 7, 8 feet. And so you got to keep that in mind too. But that was a difficult tree. I mean, it's out in the wide open, nothing around it. Well, other than the sawtooths, didn't want to hit those sawtooths out there, but a very difficult tree. So to cut the stump, I didn't cut the stump with the saw that's in the picture. I just set that saw on there. That's the 400 with the 28-inch bar. I cut the stump off with the 661 with a 36-inch bar. And I burned an entire tank of gas cutting that stump off right there. I didn't measure it, but it was big. And I hadn't texted the guy that owned it yet to see if he got it cleaned up or not. But man, any of those trees like that, if you're gonna mess with something like that, be really, really careful with them because they can smoke you down in a hurry. So short video today, man. I've had a lot going on this week. Worked like crazy this week. Did a few things this morning. Did not plan on doing any tree work today because I'm setting up this afternoon for a massive crane job on Friday morning that we're going to start. We're going to take down 2 trees with a crane. It's going to be a pretty enormous job, a lot going on in it and everything. And there's going to be a lot of people. There's quite a few people that are going to be there to watch it go down and everything that are going to be here. So if you're in the area and you want to watch this go down, watch the tree go down, we will be at Mount Zion Baptist Church on Lake Lowndes Road. Anybody in the area knows where Mount Zion Baptist Church is. It's one of the biggest churches out in New Hope out here, and you can come by. We're going to be starting on at about 7 o'clock. There'll be quite a few other people there to check it out and watch us work, get those 2 trees down with that. So Kyle with Mississippi Crane Service he'll be here. But So I worked hard this week and last week too, and it's been so hot. I had to have a break today to just kind of get situated for tomorrow, because by the end of the day yesterday, I worked a pretty gnarly gum yesterday, sweet gum yesterday afternoon. It was tall and big. It's between two houses, right between two houses. I did it by myself, and I needed to kind of recharge my internal battery a little bit before I jump on what I got going on tomorrow. So, but anyhow, I appreciate y'all watching. The views have been great. Lots of comments, and here in the last several videos. Videos been really good too. But so, like I said, wasn't gonna film none of that, man, because I don't want somebody duplicating that. I mean, because what I was doing up there, I mean, I was doing some cowboys, some daggone Buck and Billy Ray kind of stuff up there, sketchy stuff up there, man. And it's just, I mean, because if you slip or something, it's over with. You can't screw up. But so we'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.